So, I was.
Welcome back, everybody, to
It's not the introduction time.
number 5.
Introduction time comes after the story. That's how it's been in every single episode. This is episode number 5. You're supposed to know this.
I don't keep track.
Well, I'm the one who uploads the podcast to.
I'm the one that uploads it to YouTube, though.
Well,
And
I put it on
edit it.
Castbox, which comes secondary.
I record, edit, and upload.
I download and upload.
So you think I would know a little something.
Well,
so don't question my judgment.
You would think, I'm here too, so I would know something.
Do you?
I think so.
Do you think you know? Or do you know that you think?
What? Welcome back to the EIS Cast.
Number 5. Woo. A whole...
Month and a little bit more worth of podcasts.
No, we're still in... When does this one... Okay, so we just started February.
Yeah.
Great. Wow.
This is Lizard Breath and...
Same old me.
The Bard.
The Bard.
So, I was sitting there the other day and I was watching Netflix. I was looking for a show to watch, something new, something different.
As many people are.
Yeah. You're always looking for something new on Netflix. Like, that's half the thing about Netflix. You're always searching.
Well, that's because whenever they come out with something, it's not new or refreshing.
That might be true. So, I found this show and I had heard about it on the internet. It's called Black Mirror.
Yeah, all right.
And everything on the internet said it was about, like, computers taking over the world. And I was like, I don't feel like you can make a TV series about this.
As many computers are known to do.
I mean, yeah, it's not a new concept at all, but supposedly it was, like, really creepy, and I was like, okay, I'll watch an episode of this. So
give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Netflix, as lovely as it is, has this weird algorithm that freaked out on me and decided to start me on season 4, episode 1 instead of season 1.
That's a good place to start.
So, I mean, I don't know why it did that, but...
Maybe the first 3 seasons were slow.
Potentially? I mean, maybe it was saving me. Maybe that's what it was.
It's like, yeah, you're not gonna want to watch it.
Come watch the most recent season.
Come on over.
But I started watching it, and I watched one episode, and it was something along the lines of, like, this guy had a game. He worked for a game company.
Okay.
It's an online game.
That's the dream.
Yeah, but he had his own little mini micro server at home that no one else had access to.
Okay.
And he would take, like, the DNA of people from his office and, like, upload it into this little micro server.
Right.
And make them into characters. Well, the show progresses, and, like, he's a big jerk.
I want to know the science because I'm pretty sure that's not how that works.
Yeah, I'm like 99% sure you can't put DNA in and then it's like...
It can be read in a numerical value in a sense. Like sure, you could probably build the character, but that's just the shell.
Yeah, it's not going to be the personality.
Yeah.
Which, in the game, it was the personality.
No, because that's not where... DNA is not where that comes from. DNA just makes you look how you are.
Yeah.
Like... neural impulses.
Like, they had memories and everything.
No. That's not... All right, so I already can't watch it because I'm going to the whole time be like, this is not how this works at all.
So, well, the side itself is, very unrealistic. But, where was I?
You're so close to having me, and you're like, no, I can't look past this science.
So, he puts these people into the game.
Right.
And turns out he's this huge jerk. And so these people... even though they're just, like, miniature digital copies of their real selves.
They physically don't matter.
They decide they want to leave the game. So they're like, we're gonna run into this firewall that... We're gonna run into the firewall and it's gonna kill us, right?
Okay.
Well,
and that's it?
But
like,
they escape, they trick him, they run into the firewall, but it puts them into the World Wide Web.
Speaking of spoilers... by the way.
We'll put that in the notes, in the description. By the way, for this one episode from
in season 4. That's you're a few seasons ahead.
And I don't know, it almost makes you wonder, like, are there, like, little beings out there on the internet that are just like AIs that are existing on their own with no help, and they've just been abandoned.
Like that episode of Fairly Odd Parents?
There's an episode of Fairly Odd Parents about that?
Yeah, he's like, I want to be in the internet. And then they put him in the internet, and so he's flying around. And
I thought he went into the television.
No, he did that too.
Oh, I guess I didn't see the internet one.
Yeah.
That was after my time.
No, I think that one came first.
Did it?
Yeah.
What?
I think so.
I missed out on this in my childhood.
Yeah, because his mom sent a letter to the girl he liked, and he's like, I can't let her read that.
Oh, I remember that. And he chases down the email.
Mm-hmm.
Back when kids used email instead of text messages.
Do we not use email anymore?
I mean, only in the college setting or the business setting.
I still don't check it.
Yeah.
It bites me in the butt really bad.
My inbox is always overflowing. Like, I'll check it and make sure there's nothing
popular?
Important, but I have so much junk mail that when I die, Google's gonna have a whole server dedicated to me.
For my basic email that everything goes to. Look, I got 14,000 unread.
That sounds like me. I'm very curious as to how much mine is. Let me check it real quick.
I've been watching that number grow for a while now, and every time I look at it, I go, maybe I could spend a day and get rid of it. Some. But then I go, but how would I feel not having that number there anymore?
See, my phone doesn't let me see the exact number. It says I have 297 that are just physically on my phone unread. I don't know how many are on the entire platform. I've had my email since I was 13.
I mean, do we want to do a plug since we're talking about email?
We'll save that for the end. We'll save it for the end. But yeah, the internet is weird.
It's a scary place.
So, because of that, I've been thinking. Remember, all those websites that we used to go to in the late 90s, early 2000s, when the internet was just beginning to be a place to play?
Yeah, I do. Many of them asked me to verify if I was 18 or not.
I get a parent's permission before you go online.
I lied every time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know a single person that asked their mom, "Hey, can I get on Disney.go.com?
I need to play. Help."
I don't know how to internet assist me.
Well, you need to make your MySpace and...
Oh, I remember MySpace.
And
I remember not being on MySpace because I was 13 when it died.
Back when we were that young, I can't remember what the website was called. But it was basically something like that. You made your profile page. You could link in videos and music and stuff. It was something like that. I will never remember what it was called. But I just remember it. I used to watch. That's where I found a lot of funny videos before like that. And the best ability I can weigh to remember how to date it was that's where I found the episode of Make Love Not Warcraft from South Park. And so that'll try to date that in its own. There is nothing I can physically do to try to remember what that website was.
I once had a blog, and I was in middle school. I was this preteen, and I was I'm gonna have a blog about fashion and clothing.
How'd that go for you?
Oh, it was so bad. So bad. I distinctly remember neon green and neon pink text on a white background.
Oh yeah, that
graphic design was on
right
point.
There.
But it was on a website where if you don't log in for 6 months, they'll delete your account, and it's made only for kids blogs.
Seems
it was
fair.
weird. I'm I don't even remember what it was called.
They only got so much server usage. You know, they're not going to waste time on someone.
I'm I know that it's gone now. I can't ever find it again. Obviously, I haven't logged in a long time.
Maybe you could try on the Wayback thing.
The what?
There's a internet a Wayback machine or whatever it's called. And they can pull up how websites used to look and this and that.
I have not heard of this prior to now.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. I think that's what it's called anyway. Internet Archive, Wayback Machine.
What?
Yep.
But you would have to know the page name, and I don't.
Let's type in YouTube and see what happens here.
Oh, remember when the play button wasn't round?
I remember many things. Not a lot of things, but a few things.
I remember coming home from school actually just getting out of school, because my parents were teachers, so I would go and I would like sit in their classroom for hours on end while they had meetings and stuff. And so I would play on their computer, and I would go to neopets.com and like play these really crappy little one-player games, or like feed my imaginary internet pet and different things like that.
I mean, why wouldn't you want to feed your imaginary pet?
I mean, it was like Tamagotchi, but online, honestly. And you couldn't kill it as easily.
Enable Adobe Flash, come on.
Technical difficulties.
Fine. Oh, wait. Yeah. Okay, click allow. Play. Nothing? Is that it? Wait, is that it? I guess that's what...
Is that? Yeah, because it has the Wayback Machine at the top.
So, I guess that's what it used to look like in 2005.
What before. Click the videos tab.
I don't think it's actually clickable. I think
no, it's not clickable.
It's just a picture to show you.
Oh, that looks so sad.
I mean, well, this is what it didn't used to be a Google thing. It used to just...
true.
Someone just like, hey, you can post your cool videos on here because it's about you and the community.
It was like a positive force in the world. Yay! Thanks, Google, for taking over. I mean, to be fair, Google did kind of like make it a more widespread platform.
I don't want to talk about that.
Remember, like 2000.
Remember when things were happy?
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey everybody, let's talk about things that were happy and didn't make you sad.
Remember in 2007 when Charlie Bit Me and like Charlie the Unicorn were like the best things on the internet?
I don't think they came out at the same time.
Well, I remember watching them around the same time. It may have been like a 2-year span in between.
Maybe.
But let's be fair, I'm not good at remembering dates.
Yeah, no, just it's a simpler time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my big one was a show called Red vs. Blue. I remember when that one was out early.
I feel like I vaguely remember
that. It was early 2000s. It was I mean, it's about space soldiers and stuff like that. So I mean, it's hard to explain. You really just need to watch the first episode.
Yeah, no, I feel like I've heard someone talk about this before and then just like totally blanked out and didn't.
It was probably me. I probably mentioned it a few times. It's a good show. It's a good show. When I found these on YouTube, yeah, I watched a lot of it.
You thought it was very entertaining.
Oh yeah, because it's funny. Because it's one of those examples of simple cinematography, but the writing in it and the humor keeps it. That's what pushes it.
And things like that, if it has good writing or like concept, it keeps it relevant.
Yeah, and then
for nowadays.
And now that Rooster Teeth is so big, whenever they do a season, they've been able to add like actual animation and like fight scenes and stuff
instead of basics.
Yeah. Oh, like the first 5 seasons, they're kind of like standing there talking back and forth, arguing, or like they can. Like, it's in the game, so they can still shoot and do stuff. Yeah. But there's nothing super integral about it.
I think it's so weird that all these things like still exist online, because so many like generations before us, they didn't have the ability to be like, oh, let's nostalgically look back at things.
Right.
They would do time capsules and they would have like photos in the nature of like Polaroids or printouts from like Walgreens. But we have like a digital copy of everything starting from when the internet, I almost said universe. Not when
back
the universe.
From the start of time.
From when the internet started becoming popular. So like Neopets is still there. It serves zero purpose. In fact, you pull it up and they like have an ad.
I'll see it.
They have an ad on the very first page for like an app on your phone that doesn't actually exist. I don't know if it came out and then got pulled or if it just flopped and never came out at all.
Well, you can only have a Neopet for so long.
I mean, yeah. It wasn't even Neopet's game that we were advertising. It was something totally different, just made by the same people. It gets sad.
But yes, I watched like all of these all the time. Every time it was like I needed every time it was that it's been long enough that I could rewatch it again. Just straight from the beginning on, and every time the jokes came around, that was my Saturday before I picked up online gaming.
Fair enough.
And that's when my grades dropped.
That's when it all.
But I made
died.
friends.
Oh, I mean, that's good.
I made friends.
Well, I think it's time for us to move on into our next segment.
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about College Kids Corner. Hi guys, it's Lizard Breath. Welcome back to College Kids Corner. Today I have a lovely guest here with me. This is
Callie.
And today in this episode we're going to talk about relationships and dating in college. It's very fun. Everyone has some experience, but everyone's experience is different. So I'm excited to hear about it. So let's get started. Let's go ahead and say, what was your relationship status whenever you got into college?
Well, when I got into college, I had a boyfriend. We had been dating for 6-7 months when I first got into college. So that was going pretty strong.
Okay, well that's cool. That's a bit different than me whenever I first got into college. Originally, when I was at a junior college, I did not have a boyfriend. So, it's a little different. Okay, and how would you say college affected your relationship?
Oh boy. Well, for us, it made it a lot more difficult to see each other and talk to each other because my schedule got crazy busy. He had all his sports and...
And did your significant other go to the same school or no?
No, he is actually at a different school. So, Still in high school.
So yeah, and I can definitely understand the conflicting schedules. That's a huge thing for anything, even interpersonal relationships in college. Let's see. So, do you think, from your experience and your knowledge, do you think it's a good idea to be dating people in college?
I think it depends on your personality type. If you're like me and you get really distracted easily, or you can only focus on one thing at a time, definitely not.
Okay.
Focus on school. But if you can handle multiple things and you think you can do it, it would be safe to try.
Okay. I think I'm going to agree with you there, honestly, because in my experience, sometimes I can split my focus to different things and sometimes I can't. So I guess it's how much of a dedicated relationship you want and, how much you want to pass all your classes and things like that.
And I'm very ADHD, but I'm also really, into relationships. And if I'm in one, I'm going 100% all in.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Okay, so do you have any advice for other people when it comes to relationships or dating people while you're in college or anything like that?
Honestly, as far as relationships go, it's so cliche, but just communication. Even if you both know that you need communication, you have to actively try to communicate. And sometimes, yes, it does help to have a third party, like a therapist or a friend or even a friend's parent or something like that.
That's a really good idea. And it's funny because I think it was in our last episode, we talked about roommates and that one of the big issues with roommates was communication.
It's always the communication.
I think that's what everyone needs to learn at this point, especially as young adults and some people still teenagers. Communicate with one another, whether you're friends or roommates or significant other. Talk to them somehow, because the worst thing you could do is to not talk to them at all and just have this existing problem that can't be fixed.
And just when you're talking, respect each other. Oh my gosh.
Elaborate on that. I would
okay, if you're talking to a significant other or roommate or something and you have a problem, don't put them below you or put yourself above them. Don't do it. It's bad. It does not turn out good.
Okay. Judging by your facial expression, I can tell you've been there.
Too many times.
Yeah, I can relate to that on some level. It's definitely good not to put yourself above others, regardless. Like, don't do that. It's not good. Do you have any other advice just regarding college, school, studies, anything like that? Or any fun stories you'd like to tell?
Oh boy. Too many stories. Not enough time.
Any stories that, will take 10 minutes or less.
Well,
without shaming anyone too horribly. Let's not harm any of the general public.
Well, if you're like me, I'm a theater major. And before school even started, I had auditions. Just make sure you know where you're going on your first day. It sounds hard, but if you walk to the wrong place and you end up missing something important, or you look like a fool in front of someone, yeah, it happens. Just, avoid it usually.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea to, if you're gonna go to class, go, like, the day before, week before, and find out where it is.
Don't find it 5 minutes before class starts. Don't do it.
And then if you do make a fool of yourself, that's totally half of the college experience. Because everyone is...
Just laugh.
Yeah, everyone's figuring out who they are, and, like...
Everyone's focusing on themselves.
Yeah, in relation to other people, and... half the time they're not going to notice if you mess up. And the other half of the time, they're probably going to laugh along with you.
Or say, hey, I relate. Let's talk about this together.
Perfect way to make friends.
Exactly.
Just to mess up all the time. Oh, that is grand. I love that piece of advice. Okay, so, one last little thing before we finish up this segment. We've got a little bit of a short segment today, but that's okay.
I'm not very talkative, I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's fine. This was very... It's all fine. If you were to start all over with the first semester in college, but with the knowledge that you have right now, what are 3 college, dorm, class, whatever, essentials that you would say you have to have if you want to be comfortable, if you want to be successful, if you want things to go easier in your college experience? Literally anything.
Let's see. I relied heavily on Pinterest, whether it was for, like, figuring out how I wanted my side of the room to be, how I wanted my stuff to be organized, like, what to do during class, what was helpful. That was helpful. Let's see.
You know, I haven't heard that one before. That one's, like, really, really smart, honestly. I think I did the same thing, but I wouldn't have thought about it.
I'm a creative person. I rely on Pinterest for everything.
And you guys, I've been in her room, and it's Pinterest-tastic. I love it. It's amazing.
Thanks. Let's see. If you have something special from home, like a stuffed animal or a blanket or a special pillow that you can't sleep without, bring it. It's really helpful, especially for those nights where you're starting to panic or you're getting homesick, even though you said you weren't going to get homesick. Yeah, those are really helpful.
Yes, and to be honest, college, like, we are all there as college students, so if you have a teddy bear, even if you're, like, walking around with it, no one's really going to judge you that harshly. I mean, you might get a weird look from the side of someone's eye, like, what? Why do they have a teddy bear? But, I mean... everything's pretty chill at college, honestly.
And she can vouch for this, but I have a giant teddy bear that is sitting on my bed, and every time I bring it back in, there's always the 1 or 2 people who are like, oh my gosh, I'm jealous. Where did you get that?
Yeah, like...
makes friends. Boom.
I saw a post, I think it was on Tumblr or something once, about, how college, like, you can do anything and someone will think you're smart for it. And I think the post gave the example of you could see someone like skateboarding around in a Snuggie and think, man, that is a smart person. And honestly, it's not a bad idea.
However stupid you think you look in college, there's probably going to be multiple people who are like, why didn't I think of this?
Yes.
Ah!
You can, like, look the ugliest, you can be the weirdest, and someone is still going to compliment you and think you're amazing.
College.
Yeah. Okay, so one more thing.
Oh boy. Well, I didn't get this far in thinking.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't give you enough time.
I'm gonna go for, like, the first thing that pops in my head, and that is snacks. But don't just get, like, trashy snacks. I mean, sure, have a few, like your comfort food or whatever. But get, like, snacks that will hold you over till your next meal. Because sometimes in between classes, you don't have a meal for, like, 4 or 5 hours or so.
Absolutely.
And always carry it around with you.
Whether it's granola bars or... I'm a big...
Which you do.
Yeah, I literally have every kind of snack ever, and I, like, give it out to people. Oh, you're hungry? Here, give me 1 second. Let me look around in my bag. I'm a big fan of, like, the applesauce pouches, and not all of them are applesauce. Some of them are different fruits and things.
So good.
They are amazing, especially if you chill them in the fridge first.
And they're somewhat fairly healthy.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
there you go.
It's like, I get nervous eating them in public, so I'm like, I look like a small child with this pouch of applesauce.
Honestly, college is just full of large children.
They are. Like, honestly. I said that to my mom the other day. I was like, you know what? Being in college is like being a little kid again. You're like,
everyone takes naps.
I'll eat mac and cheese and fruit snacks and chicken noodle soup all day long. Like,
I mean, my roommate keeps chicken nuggets, and yeah, so that works.
Everyone, I've seen so many people across campus with, like, character backpacks and things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's honestly,
great. I love it.
Everyone is perfectly fine with just being comfortable.
Yes.
Unless you're, like, a business major, in which case I think you might be excluded. Like, they're always...
Slightly.
They're always walking around in, like, a suit and nice shoes, and I'm like, how?
It's okay, they probably secretly use, like, Hello Kitty pencils or something.
Probably.
Gotta make it fun a little bit, like, come on.
A little bit of joy in their life. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Hey.
I'm so glad to have you and be able to talk about some different stuff. I swear, every person is different being on the podcast, so I never know how long it's going to go. Or what we're going to talk about. Like, last week, we had a huge discussion about, like, turtles. There were a lot of talk about turtles.
And I'd be fine being there for that.
That wasn't part of our, like, subject matter.
You know, turtles are always part of subject matters.
Always.
It just makes sense.
Turtles all the way down. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
This has been College Kids Corner. See you guys with this segment again next week. That was some good stuff.
Oh man, I could watch that over and over.
Watch? You mean listen?
No, I'm gonna watch it.
You're gonna watch, like, the sound waves, or are you gonna watch, like, the screen on YouTube?
Yes.
Wow. Good job. Good job.
Don't question me.
So we talked about relationships. Like, do you have any fun stories or advice in that area, Barbara?
Yes. No. Yes and no.
Have you ever dated a person?
I have dated. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Looking at me, it's hard to tell, but you know, some people have found me slightly attractive.
Wow, same here. How about
you find me slightly attractive?
No, that is not what I was saying. People have found me slightly attractive.
Oh, well, there you go.
Which is surprising at times. It's weird. When I think about myself, I don't think about myself as attractive. I think about myself as like, oh, I'm just a thing. Well, people don't look at me in that way.
That's where I found a good quote. It was off this little webcomic. It was a person looking in the mirror going, oh, I'm ugly. No one will ever like me. And the person's like, you're not ugly. You're just not your type.
I've seen that before. That is a genius quote. I always forget it.
It's a good one. Because, yeah, maybe you're not that ugly. You're not into yourself, which is fine.
It's okay to not be into yourself.
A lot of people aren't.
It's the nature of humans.
Yeah, you know, it's actually frowned upon to be too into yourself, so...
Yeah, I mean, no one wants, like, to hang around the person that's too, like, about themselves.
Yeah.
What is the word? Too vain. Too,
No one here, not me. No, sir.
Yeah, if I had to give some advice on relationships, I'd say...
Don't do it.
Communicating is a good thing, but don't rely solely on your significant other to communicate with.
Remember, gentlemen, she's always right.
That's good advice, too.
Just never try.
Like, talk to other people besides your significant other. Like, that's an okay thing to do.
It's okay to have friends with the opposite gender.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's okay to have friends of the same gender. It's okay to have friends.
Are you sure?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
You're gonna need to get back to me on that one. It's okay to have friends. Are you trying to tell me something?
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I have friends, thank you.
Okay, just making sure.
I would have to say there's two ways it can go, especially for your first time. Is that it can either I guess to start from the beginning, it goes when you're going to date, you need to have your points clear. So it could just be like, oh, I'm just trying to be a fling or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're going in normally, dating either ends in marriage or a breakup.
There's like two options and that's it.
There can't be an in-between.
Because the in-between is basically we date for a really long time. We're engaged for a really long time.
And like, okay, I guess technically not marriage, but there's the I'm not leaving you, and then this didn't work out.
You either stay together or you break up.
Yeah. So just when you go the first time and you get into something and you feel like it could last, the issue is you don't have all that experience, but you don't, it's a toss-up because it always depends on the people involved, because just because it's your first time with somebody, it doesn't mean you need a second, third. It can work the first one.
If it's done correctly.
Right. But, you need to make sure you're not just staying with them because it's your first one.
You don't need to stay with them just because you don't want to go through the pain of a breakup.
Yeah, because, if it's not working out...
If there's zero attraction, there's no reason to be in a relationship. The way I've heard it put before by one of my friends is a relationship, if it's not, progressing, moving forward in a positive direction, if you're just standing there and, nothing good is happening, it's like a dead shark. Because, sharks, they have to swim forward. They have to keep moving forward.
Right.
If they stop moving, if they swim backwards, they die.
They swim backwards.
They can't swim backwards. That's the thing. So it's like dragging a dead shark around with you. It's not helping you swim. It's not swimming on its own. It's just dead weight.
It's beating a dead horse with a shark.
Sure. We'll go with that.
But yeah, so that was my big issue in my first relationship, was that it was the only thing I knew. I had a big enough issue getting to that point.
Yeah.
So it was in my head going, if I get out of this, how am I gonna be able to find another thing?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people have that problem. I did, but I didn't realize it. And then...
and so it was just bad decision after bad decision. Let's just say I got into a little bit of debt because of it.
Oh, wow.
That I just now recently been able to finish paying off. And this was 4 years ago that I ended it.
Wow.
So...
Be careful, kids.
My credit score is really nice now, though.
That's good.
Yeah, if you get into debt, at least pay it off. So, it's fine.
Don't sit there with it forever. Another dead shark.
Yeah, beating the dead horse shark.
Yeah, I just have a mental picture of what a horse shark must be like. Yeah.
You're just beating it.
With what? A stick?
What does this say? You've been signed out because another user signed in from the... What? Why did that...
I might have signed into the... Maybe not. I don't remember signing in.
Why did that happen? What is this? Stop. Stop doing this. That was weird that popped up.
That was really weird. I got a server error on my email, too. I don't know someone's hacking us right here and right now. Stop it.
Stop. There's nothing important, I promise.
They can hear us talking and they're annoyed, so they're trying to hack us.
Hey, stop.
Okay,
I'm gonna get Andy on you.
Where were we?
It was just to the point, like I was saying, if it doesn't work out the first time, it didn't work out, but that doesn't mean it can't work the second time.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I went through the struggles. I was single for a while, but then I managed to find someone else, and they work a lot better. We get along. Yeah. We have a general sense of humor. I can say a bunch of things, and sometimes it might be something that someone could be offended by, but luckily she isn't.
That's all. Don't offend your significant other. Like,
make sure they know how to take a joke.
Like, make sure your personalities are compatible, and
yeah,
like,
you know, that's what dating is for.
And know that one person, just because you date them, isn't the be all end all of relationships. Even if you want them to be, like, sometimes it's not meant to be.
You need to figure out what they are like behind closed doors.
Yeah. I've always been told or seen written down as advice. See, this is, I guess, more advice for women, but I guess it could be advice for men, too.
What? I'm not good enough for this advice?
See how the person acts around animals and around children and how they treat the elderly.
Okay.
Because, like, those are the most frail, most impressionable people.
Right.
Including the animals. Like, I guess those are people too.
Animals are people too, dang it.
Turtles.
Those poor turtles. Hey, I told you, they will come back to save me.
And, like, the way they treat those people who, like, can't fight back, like, that's gonna be how they are behind closed doors. Like, if they treat old people badly, if they treat children badly,
just beat them with your horse shark.
Yes, exactly.
And child speaking
and get out of that relationship.
Yeah, just child speaking up to you, smack. Old person speaking up to you, smack.
No, smack the person that wants to beat the elderly.
Little Rover speaking up to
children.
You, smack.
Good job. Good advice there, Bard.
They'll know who's in charge.
Also, I guess that's mostly it for relationships.
And if you want to hold on to the lady, smack.
No, don't do that. Do not listen to him. I actually made a whole, like, segment about relationships on my YouTube channel. Which we will, I guess can we leave a link? Is that okay?
For what?
For the video that I made that's, like, specifically about my relationship experience, because it's a long story.
Yeah, we can put the link in the description.
So, yeah, if you want to know my story, my extensive advice, it'll be in the description, in the show notes, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we can do that.
So I guess that's it for anything relating to College Kids Corner.
Just remember, just because you didn't meet the one in grade school, or you didn't meet the one in college,
doesn't mean the one isn't out there.
The biggest issue with it is you need to just have the patience, because if you run into something, it's most likely not going to work out, and you can't force relationships. So don't be discouraged just because your roommate and everyone else in your dorm area is getting some. Yeah. Just be you.
And that's the most important thing, is, like, be comfortable being yourself before you worry about someone else. Like, take care of you.
You have to love yourself before you can love others.
It's true. It's very, very true.
It is.
Because if you don't love yourself, then you can't love someone else.
Speaking of which, on our Twitter, I allowed us to follow the Dalai Lama, because apparently he has a Twitter.
That's cool.
So I'm pushing everyone follow the Dalai Lama on Twitter. Because I saw him and I was like, why are we not following the Dalai Lama?
That's fair enough.
I was like, he's a Twitter. Sign me up.
And if you don't want to follow the Dalai Lama, follow us.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure we'll retweet some of his stuff occasionally, so you'll see it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's good. I don't know if he has good Twitter banner or not.
I don't know. You're the one who's been on our Twitter.
Yeah. I am. Someone's got to do it.
Speaking of the internet again, surprise, surprise, we officially have an email now.
You're welcome.
Yeah, good job, Bard.
Thank you.
We have an email for you to send us your ideas, your comments, your fan art of horse sharks,
horse sharks.
And how to beat people with them.
And if it's good enough, we'll put it on a t-shirt.
Maybe.
We'll think about giving you some proceeds.
We'll see. We'll wait till we actually, have
It's all mine.
I don't know about that.
This was my idea.
But if you have literally anything you want to send us, we'd be severely entertained, and you might get a shout out here on the podcast.
It'll get put on the fan wall.
Yeah, we totally have a fan wall.
It's over there. We'll make one as soon as we have fans.
You're supposed to not let them know that we don't have one. They're supposed to think we have one, even if we don't have one.
We do have it. It's right there. I'm looking at it.
That's the fan wall?
That's a wall.
What if we put a bunch of, like, physical fans on the fan wall, and
Yeah.
then we, like, write people's names on the fans?
On the fans? Do they have to be powered on?
Wrong kind of fan. Like a wave it with your hand fan.
Oh.
Like Oriental fans.
Wave it with your hand fan.
Fancy fans.
Oh, okay. I mean, sure. I guess. Seems like an extra step.
Maybe not.
If you want your name on a
Maybe
fancy
we'll
hand
have
fan,
one fan in the center of the wall to indicate that it's the fan wall, and the rest will have
just like a
people's names.
just like a
written.
20-foot fan.
No, it doesn't even have to be big. It's just like it could be 6 inches, just this little big fan, but like we'll write fan wall underneath it after it's been stapled to the wall,
Right.
and then we'll write people's names all around it. So it takes up the entire wall.
So if you want to be part of the fancy hand fan wall,
Go ahead and send us an email.
Send us your fancy hand fans at
Our email is eisletters@gmail.com, and we'll leave that in the description.
It'll
as
be
well.
in the description.
From now on.
I guess so.
So excited.
EISLETTERS @GMAIL.com.
Good job.
Man, I'm such a good speller of things.
Wonderful job. So thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast today. Once again, we'll be back next Friday with another podcast. Apparently I can't remember the days of the week.
Tisk.
I got a lot going on.
You can spell it though. FRIDAY. Boom.
Friday.
Spelled another thing.
Friday.
Gotta
Something Friday.
Gotta get on that podcast on Friday. Oh gosh, everything's falling apart.
Bye.